There it goes. Hey, welcome to the continuing Winemaker series here at Wine of the Month Club, and we had a special visitor today. Actually, well, you didn't come in yesterday for tasting day.
Not at all.
But you're here in town traveling.
That's it.
This is Chuck Carlson from not only Carlson Wines, but as well as Curtis Wines, which we've seen here at Wine of the Month Club, and just so happy to have you here to talk about wines and your family and your history and everything.
Perfect. Thanks. Glad to be here.
Nice day out here in Southern California.
It is. It's one of the better ones I've had.
Now, we talked about off camera briefly that I was up in Ridley. What did you say? You said
Reedley.
Reedley. Yeah, Reedley.
Yeah.
Which is a wonderful farming town, which is where you're from.
That's exactly. I grew up there. My family's in the citrus business there, and they still are. I decided to explore the wine scene outside of that area.
Well, it looked harsh to me, and I know this from the recession downtown. There was a wonderful saloon that was all boarded up.
It's been hard. It's actually back open now.
Is it really?
Yeah, they just opened
I missed it.
Up. You did. You missed the big grand opening.
That would have been great, actually.
Yeah.
It looked like it was really fun. And we had kiwi there. I guess that peaches are a big crop up there?
Peaches, stone fruit, nectarines, plums, citrus. It's all big there.
You went into the grape side and you decided to go to Fresno. Is that where you
I went to Fresno State, got a winemaking degree, moved over to the coast in 1981, and been over there ever since.
Wow.
Spent about 13 years at Zaca Mesa. And then,
Zaca Mesa, a big brand.
Yeah, pretty good wines, great vineyard, and joined the Firestone family in 93 to head up this Curtis Winery project.
So back to Zaca Mesa, they have, I know on Highway 46, right? Is it 46 that leaves Paso into the dark, hot side?
Yeah, that's the Firestones had a place there.
Oh, they did?
Zaca Mesa doesn't.
It doesn't?
No,
Okay.
They're all Santa Barbara right there on their estate.
We had some vineyard land on the hot side of Paso, which we bought many years ago. I sold it recently because I didn't realize how much it cost to plant.
Yeah.
The land was cheap. Planting it was
exactly.
Really
Yeah. Planting, growing, nurturing takes time and money.
So, and that was the year, I think it was 2004 or something. They didn't even pick the grapes. My neighbors didn't even pick their grapes because there were so many grapes.
Right.
Big. So
yeah. Paso sees the ebb and flow of the wine trade for sure.
Definitely. Well, I don't think people understand that it's agricultural. It's hard to predict, and you plant what you want to plant, but sometimes it's not.
That's right. Predicting tastes, what people want to buy.
It's really hard.
That's really hard. You figure that one out, let me know.
Yeah, all right. We'll do that for sure. Well, you guys have been making at Curtis Wines, and I've been tasting them forever, and we've purchased a couple over the years, but a lot of Rhone varietals.
Yeah, Curtis very heavily focused on Rhone varieties.
Yeah, and that because of the district, or what is the...
Well, I think part of it is my experience in working with Rhones. When I was at Zaca Mesa, they grew everything, and we focused them purely onto the Rhone program.
Right.
So when I joined up at Curtis, they wanted my expertise in that, and so we shifted Curtis completely to Rhone varieties.
So here's the 2012 Roussanne, which I enjoyed very much because the balance was so nice. It was just, like I said, it was sort of, sometimes they get so directional, but this is a wonderful balance in its character. So you not really feel like you're getting something too tropical or too sweet or too fruity.
Yeah, Roussanne is not a variety that is overly fruit forward. It's more, for me, more of a tactile and palate driven wine. Mm-hmm. So I think it offers up as aromas like beeswax, honeycomb, this nice nuttiness, nice minerality. But on the palate, there's this great richness. And so we barrel ferment that, partial malolactic, some surly batonnage aging, but we bottle it fairly young. We keep the acidity nice and high.
I don't feel a lot of oak. Is it?
No, it's pretty neutral. Yeah. Pretty neutral oak.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great example of Roussanne, what it can be, and different from its counterpart in the south of France, but wonderful example of this area.
I think for those Chardonnay drinkers that like that more medium to full body wine, great offering for them to try something a little different.
That was my next comment. It seems like a Chardonnay, an opportunity for a Chardonnay drinker to change what they would have, and that's hard to do for some Chardonnay drinkers.
No, exactly.
I still have my friends that come to the dinner and like, do you have any Chardonnay that tastes like a popsicle stick?
Right.
We like lots of oak.
Right. That's a popular style.
It is. It still is. This is a really fun wine from the Santa Barbara County now. The other one was from San Ynez.
Yep.
This is, again, all
so
three.
this is our part of our heritage series. This is our white wine we call Heritage Blanc. It's Viognier, Roussanne, and Grenache Blanc. And these are all blended wines off the Curtis Estate Vineyard. And we just use Santa Barbara County to kind of differentiate our varietal wines. that we like to focus a little bit more on.
It's really good. It's got now the complexity of this wine, because of the blend, but it's got a little spice in it. It seems
Yeah,
like.
sure. So, the Viognier is really the aromatic driver there with all the peaches and honeysuckle and floral quality. The Grenache Blanc is some citrus and really the core minerality. Mm-hmm. And the Roussanne, like we just had, is that more of that nuttiness and rich tactile mid-palate.
And when did Firestone buy Curtis?
So Curtis, they bought that in the mid-'80s. It used to be.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, it used to be the old J. Carey cellars up in
J.
area.
Carey.
And so they
bought
sold
some of
that. They sold that property in the late '80s, and in the mid-'90s we purchased where Curtis is today.
J. Carey Cellars. Well. So this is your brand.
Yeah. So this is one of my wines that I brought out. Trois Fleurs, 3 flowers. And so it's a blend of about 52% Gewürztraminer, and then equal portions of Sauvignon Blanc and some Old Vine Chenin Blanc. So the Gewürztraminer, I love Gewürztraminer. I'm just not a big fan of really sweet ones. So it's a dry Gewürz, tank fermented, blended with the Sauvignon Blancs. It adds a citrus quality, this lime and lemon quality. And then the minerality comes from that Chenin Blanc.
The Trois Fleurs, is that because of the nose? Because the nose reminds me of flowers, and not just one flower, a whole bunch of different flowers.
Exactly.
I mean, there's I get the Chenin Blanc on the nose, I get the Gewürz, of course. I mean, you can't miss that, but it's a wonderful nose to it, and the palate follows exactly as what you're smelling.
Yeah, but it's dry and nice creaminess. Fun wine. Great for seafood, shellfish.
Yeah, perfect for that.
Yeah.
Oysters.
Oysters are the number one.
So is this the first bottling of this?
No, second vintage of that.
Okay. That's one, folks, that you don't want to dump out, but I've got a lot of tasting to do today, so I have to. So we talked about this off camera just a little bit because rosés, I'm seeing a lot more rosé in here, and I was talking about how I had the Trinchero Estates people in here last week, and of course being the founder of Sutter Home and White Zinfandel.
Yep.
But then soon after, I had a wonderful boutique Provence. He only makes 2 rosés and of course, the complete dichotomy of styles. And so, but California seems to be finally. The consumer seems to be drinking drier rosés.
They are, and I've seen that. Working with our salespeople, calling on restaurant accounts, people are tending to go towards that direction, especially in the restaurants where I like to sell my wines, a little finer dining. This is again part of our heritage series, so it's a blend. It's Mourvedre, Grenache, Syrah, and Cinsault. So very classic Rhone blend. We do that in a style where we pick the grapes to make red wine, and we'll bleed off the juice after about 24 hours on the skins. So we end up with this, real pretty salmon
great
color.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's a great color.
And we'll ferment that in a tank, and as the different varieties become ripe, we just keep adding the juice to that one fermenting tank, and it just long drawn-out fermentation, but just adds a lot of complexity to the overall wine.
It is a very, if you're going to say full-bodied rosé, even if you use that word, which is probably atypical for that, but it's got a wonderful balance to it.
There's richness there,
Yeah.
And it's still under 14 alcohol, so it's, our whole Curtis style was about restraint and more classic styling.
Really good. I'm interested in featuring that somehow because it's going to, I'm ready this year. Actually, I haven't done one. I did a Pinot Noir Blanc like in 1989. That was the last time
back in the day.
And now I think I'm ready to re-expose them because I used to get complaints.
Yeah.
And they would complain about, don't send me sweet wines.
Right.
I go, have you opened it? Because
Yeah.
I never
Dry.
would send a sweet wine.
Sure.
They're always dry. But, so I got tired of taking them back.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So this is the only red we have today. This is the Curtis Heritage Cuvée Red.
Yep.
Again, Marron varietals, right?
Yep. Same 4 that were in the rosé, so Mourvedre, Grenache, Cinsault, and Syrah. It's 2011. 2011, oddly enough, was a challenging year for us, and we had a huge frost up there, and so we lost about half of our crop.
Wow,
so
I didn't realize that.
Very concentrated, very rich wine, but very classically kind of that Southern Rhone style, earthy, briary, forest, mushroom, a lot of layers of flavors here.
It's not a C. It's not a GSM. It's an MGS.
That's it.
Well, I didn't realize that you had lost to frost in that area because people ask, what about the vintages? I got a vintage chart, doesn't matter, and I said, you give them the usual story, but In California, we hadn't had any bad vintages.
Right.
Except
It seems like 2008 and 2011 were the last two cool vintages. Every vintage since then has been kind of this larger scale vintage, but great quality. We've had just great weather.
This has changed since we opened it.
Yeah. And that's, we make our wines like we make Pinot Noir for ourselves. We don't do a lot of racking, so they really open up and change in the glass.
Amazing. Put my nose and go, wow, I didn't catch that last time. This is wonderful. I would love to have this with some barbecue ribs or something.
Yeah. Very silky.
Very good.
Great finish on it.
Well, it's a pleasure for having you stop by and say hi to us,
Yeah.
and a chance to taste wine
Good
with
to
you.
see you
And
again.
look out in the street. Let's cheers. Just do a toast to that. You head out to probably a couple of restaurants today to sell your wares, or what?
We got a full day ahead of us,
Yeah,
and we're going to be
great.
successful, I know.
Cheers.
Yeah.